Hi there guys, nice to meet everybody. I'm Nick and I'm founder of a company called Mighty. I'm the co-founder and the CEO and I'm here to talk to you today about starting a business for a sustainable future. So I'd just like to kind of talk through my experience of starting a business. We're a dairy oats manufacturer, we supply all the big supermarkets, and I'd just like to talk to you about the journey that I've been on, what it's like starting a business, specifically a sustainable one, and what that process looks like. So, a bit about my background in the first instance. My early life as somebody coming up in the world of business. When I was at school, secondary school, I was a bit of a tearaway, always kind of getting in trouble with my teachers, and very challenging time for me as a person. I found that sports and team sports, specifically rugby, was something that really kept me on the straight and narrow. So that was something that I was very big into at school, and learning about the leadership qualities that kind of gives you and how to operate in a team was something that I really took away from that as a very important personal experience right at the start of my life when things weren't going great for me. Learning about how to function as a team and kind of go forward was a really big thing for me. My working life is the next thing for us to kind of come on to, but I mean, at A-level, that was another challenging moment in time for me. My business studies teachers used to call me Santa Claus. I used to turn up to lessons once a year, so you can kind of take from that what you will. And then the biggest kind of changes for me were going to university. I did a degree in strategy and entrepreneurship, and that was a really transformational moment for me because I discovered that that's where my heart was at in terms of what I wanted to do for my future career. So learning about how to develop strategy in business, learning about how to be entrepreneurial in your approach to creating something from the ground up was something that really captured my heart and made me realise that's what I want to do with the rest of my life. I went directly from university. I was very lucky. I managed to get a job in Asda House in Leeds on the trading team, which is an amazing place to be. It's a blue chip organisation, so the kind of support that you get, the learning that you get is second to none. World-class education from those guys, better than university. And I discovered that not just how to buy products, that was the role that I was in, the trading role, so learning how to buy things, but also how to be sold things. Having the likes of Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Reckitt Benckiser coming in to talk to us and say, this is the product we'd like to sell you, and learning from those guys how they kind of did that. That was an experience in itself that was as valuable as going to university. So I learnt a huge amount there. It was an interesting time for me too, because when I left Asda, I was in a position where I was buying on the pet food side, so buying Asda's pet food from everything from Nestle to their own label. Very weird position for me to be in, because at the same time my dad was a supplier to Asda, supplying Asda in relation to their own label pet food. So I'd sit there in Asda House on the trading floor and have some hilariously awkward conversations. So my dad would ring me up in this weird kind of role reversal position. And I'd pick the phone up and, he'd be like, oh, yeah, it's Lawrence, not really sure kind of how to address me. My dad being called Lawrence. And he'd be like, when's the next opportunity that I can talk to you about pitching this product? And I'd be like, well, you might have a chance at doing it then, Dad, but, we'll kind of see. And some other awkward moments too, where I had to ring him and, kind of give him a bit of a bollocking and be like, Dad, where's my stock? What's going on with that? Why is this truck not turned up? And it was a very important experience because it taught me about the importance of personal connections in business. Having that human connection and developing that network of people is so important. The fact that Asda trusted me to be in such an important position, to be dealing with vast sums of money and to be doing it in relation to my dad as well. It was a really, significant moment for me to realise, businesses do put their trust in you and you have to reward that trust by operating with integrity. So a key learning for me at a moment in life that was a great experience. I will show you guys, it was my dad's funeral last week, so standing up here and talking about him is quite an emotional subject for me. But it was an amazing moment in life to kind of get to work with my dad. I also, after Asda, left to go and start a business with him. So we worked together doing a business called NAMS, National Account Managers. And that was focused on getting products from all over the world into the UK supermarkets. So we would literally from scratch take, we want to get pet clothes into Asda, and that was one of the first things that I kind of learned to do. So I started on the supply side, selling into Asda, honing those skills that I kind of picked up on working at Asda House, and discovering how to pitch to retailers, how to sell to retailers. An amazing moment for me in my kind of career also was kind of going into Tesco for the first time, the UK's #1 supermarket. It's a very intimidating environment for someone to walk into and to say, okay, I'm going to sell you this product, please buy this product from me. And they, it didn't work first time, but when you do get that first big win going into a supermarket and somebody saying, yes, we're going to take your product forward, we're going to put it on our shelves, and you go in there and you see that for the first time when you go into a store anywhere across the country, it is an amazing moment, an absolutely incredible moment, and very, very something to be very proud of. I also, at the same time, had my brother coming in to join the business. So he's a few years younger than me, so he came to join the family business, came to join NAMS a few years after I did. And that was a transformational moment for both of us, because we realised that we wanted to do something different. We wanted to make something for ourselves. So we wanted to make a product that wasn't somebody else's, but was ours, something that we'd kind of nurtured from the ground up and developed. And it was an idea that only we had, that we believed in, that we wanted to take forwards. And we came up with the idea, we looked around and we thought, what are we passionate about? What do we care about? Where's there an opportunity in the market? We've got a skill set where we go to retailers and we can sell things to them. But what do we believe in? Where do we see the opportunity? And what kind of business do we want to have? So we arrived on the idea of pea milk, which is as nuts as it sounds. People turned to us and said, you guys, you've got a stable job, you're getting well paid, you're going to quit your jobs, and our respective partners, it went down like a lead balloon. You're going to quit your jobs and you're going to go and sell pea milk. Everyone just kind of looked at us and went, what on earth are they thinking, these guys? That is out there as an idea. But we did, we wanted to, because we'd looked at what else was out there and we thought, we want to do something that's sustainable, something that's nutritionally unbeatable, and everything that's currently out there. If we look at almond milk, the amount of water it takes to put into growing almonds, it's not sustainable. If we look at rice milk, the nutritional value, water and rice, there's no nutritional properties to it in terms of what's in there, whereas split yellow peas have got very high protein content. Soy is, one of the best known kind of dairy alternative milks that's out there, but soybeans themselves are used to feed cattle around the world, and two of the biggest things that we can all do to have a personal impact on the environment are reduce the amount of dairy that we consume and reduce the amount of reduce the amount of meat that we consume. So we thought, peas, nutritionally unbeatable, the most sustainable option that we can find in the market, and it tastes fantastic too, or at least we thought it tastes fantastic. That wasn't necessarily everybody's opinion at the start of this. So we set about starting a business that sold pea milk, and it was a fascinating experience to kind of take it from the ground up. We had some fascinating moments, kind of learnings from the beginning. Where do you start when you're building a business? Where do you begin that journey? And for Tom and I, the beginning of that journey was, okay, well, let's literally try and make some pea milk. How do you make pea milk? Okay, well, you get some split yellow peas, you ground it up, and you put some water in. So we tried that, and we did it, not a million miles away from here in my house in a basement in Batley. And it was that Breaking Bad moment. I'm sure there's plenty of Breaking Bad moments in Batley, but this was a slightly different one. And it was very much like you'd expect. It didn't taste fantastic, and we thought, okay, we need some help. We need some help here. So we did. So from day one, we set out to get some professional help. So we basically took everything that we had in terms of our life savings, a bit of support from my dad as well, and we went to an artwork team, and we thought, Christ, okay, help us guys, help us to develop a carton, a brand that people will get when it goes into the supermarkets, that people understand this is the new, most sustainable, best tasting dairy alternative. It's a high growth area. These are all of our thoughts in relation to how it should come across to people. So they took it away. We invested pretty much everything we had in getting this artwork developed. And we came back with something we thought, wow, this is incredible, that's beautiful, fantastic. What's the next step? How do we get this business off the ground and get it to the next level? So we took that artwork, some beautiful pictures of, this is our concept, this is our big idea, and we took it down to London. That's where all the money is in the country. It's the heartland of the finance sector in this country. So we took it down to London, and sitting, in a restaurant next to the Bank of England, we made a pitch to a lady called Claire Smith, who is an impact investor. She looks for businesses that are environmentally friendly, sustainable, and take dairy products or animal products out of the supply chain, the food supply chain, so, to support a more sustainable future. And she obviously believed in what we were doing. She saw something, she saw the drive, she saw the enthusiasm, and, we pitched our hearts out. We were like, Claire, this is the next big thing. This is a real opportunity. Please help us to get this off the ground. And she did. She saw something in us on that day, and she gave us enough money to be our first seed investor, which we then used to produce factory samples. So literally not something that was cooked in a bathtub in the basement in Batley, but something that was made in a proper factory. So we ended up with cartons, with our artwork, and we were like, wow, this is it. We're made. We've got a product that we can take to people. We've got artwork that we can show to people. So we did, so we literally, got on the train, went down to London again to Sainsbury's head office in Holborn, and pitched this to those guys. Beautiful office, but for some reason they decided to take us about 5 levels underground into a sub-basement and put us around the biggest table that you can possibly imagine. So, not far off the size of this room, them sitting on right at the far end, a panel of those guys, us sitting on this side, with a little carton of pea milk, thinking, God, this isn't going to, this is an intimidating environment to be in. But we pitched our hearts out. We talked to the Sainsbury's guys, we talked through why we believed in the product. We talked about the category, the market, how it's growing, how it's expanding. And we got told in no uncertain terms, it's beautiful artwork, guys, it looks fantastic. You've clearly put a lot of effort into this, but what is it? Nobody gets it. No, we don't get it, the consumer won't get it. We can't take it like that. So we were like, Christ, okay, well, maybe you'll like the way it tastes. So let's open some up, let's try it, let's see what you think to that. So they opened it up, they tried it, and, to say it went down like a lead balloon is an understatement. People, they were like, this is not right, guys. It doesn't taste right, it doesn't come across in the right way. So we were like, Christ, what are we going to do? So being a startup, we took it back to the drawing board, and it made us realise, from kind of day one, the importance of the people in the business. We needed professional support in the business, so we needed to understand more about the consumer, and we needed a design team that could help support us on that. We needed a technical team that could help us to get the recipe right inside the product. So we very quickly did what any startup should do. We reacted to the feedback, we took it back to the drawing board, and we changed it around. So we improved the recipe, we improved the packaging, and we relaunched the product that was called the Mighty Society as what's now on the supermarket shelves as Mighty. And we took it back to Sainsbury's. It was a huge success, an absolutely tremendous success. We, at the same time as being in Sainsbury's, we thought, okay, well, we've got a product that's respectable, we're testing it on the ground. Tesco got in touch with us and they said, guys, we've seen what you've done with this product, we'd like to list it in our stores as well. So we thought, right, okay, Christ, we've only just gone into Sainsbury's, we've not got a huge amount of financial resource, what do we do here? So we said, Tesco, we love you, we know you're the #1 retailer in the UK, but very sorry, no, not at this moment in time, we're not going to put our products into your store. Tesco go, we're Tesco, nobody says no to Tesco, and we've approached you, what's going on here? So we didn't actually launch in Tesco at that moment in time, and that was one of the key learnings for us, because timing is very important in business as well, making sure that you get things done at the right time and deliver it in the right way. So we'd redeveloped the product, we tested the product packaging, the new packaging, and we found there were still tweaks that we needed to make, still changes before we got that one shot in the UK's #1 retailer. There were changes to the recipe that we needed to make, which we did do, and improved it very significantly. And 2 years later, we're now back in Tesco as an incubator brand, which means that we're kind of following in the footsteps as one of their fast growth suppliers for a product that is, in the likes of the same kind of vein, previous alumni as Grenade or Fever Tree, really big brands that you've seen come up in recent years. We're on that journey and working with Tesco to really kind of develop that one in a very close way. So yeah, we wanted to launch in Tesco, and we thought we still need more funding to actually be able to do that. And another kind of key learning for us was trust your gut, guys. As you're kind of going along the journey, timing is important. So saying no to Tesco is a big one, but also the timing of making sure that we get things right. So we needed the money to be able to launch in Tesco. It's a big retailer, it's got a huge number of stores, and we thought, what are we going to do here? So we're in the midst of an investment round, we're trying to bring money into the business to create something that is, a sustainable product that's going to really help transform the market. And we had an investor talking to us, one of the founders of a big craft beer brand that we'd all know. And we thought as we were kind of going through the process, this has been going on for 4 months. We don't like the way this conversation's shaping up. There are challenges here. There's something wrong, something not right. So we said to this guy, look, very sorry, there's millions of pounds at stake with the rest of the investors in this round. We're not going to take it forwards. And they hit the fan, and they went absolutely nuts about that. Then it landed in the news, lots of bad press about those guys. There's something came out in the news that made us think, Christ, we were absolutely spot on. We shouldn't have taken that forwards with them. 24 hours later, we're there pitching to another investor, a billionaire, a very high net worth individual, who in 90 minutes turned the investment round around and made sure that we had the funds, 72 hours later, that those guys had taken 4 months to arrive at. So very important lesson for us. Make sure that we get the timing right, make sure that we trust our gut. And those things have all come together for us to make Mighty one of the best products that's currently in the dairy alternative category, one of the fastest growing suppliers out there. So guys, if I could just give you 2 pieces of advice to take forwards that we've learnt: always trust your gut in business, always make sure that you pay attention to the timing in terms of what you're delivering, and always love the people in your business, because having great people there, having the right people there, is what makes a great business. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Much appreciated.